Greetings viewers, this is Monto Maverick coming at you with another review video. Today we will be reviewing the Master Grade Gundam Deathscythe Hell Custom from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. You all know how this goes, a little bit of background history on the mobile suit. The Deathscythe is the second of the 5 Gundams sent to Earth from the space colonies in the Gundam Wing TV series for Operation Meteor. It was piloted by duo Maxwell. Personally, he was actually my favorite character from the series. Created by the engineer Professor G, it was a masterpiece in his opinion, for the Deathscythe was actually used for stealth capabilities. It had jammers mounted on its back, so that way it can be prevented by not being shown on radar by enemies. This helped the Deathscythe to sneak into facilities without being detected. Duo Maxwell, an orphan in the beginning of the series, or before the series really, originally he actually wanted to destroy the mobile suit. However, the engineer, Professor G, didn't want Duo to destroy such a work of art, a masterpiece as I mentioned before. Instead, he much rather Duo steal the mobile suit, and in the end, he ended up assisting with Project Operation Meteor by battling against Oz. Now, with this, Duo actually nicknamed himself the God of Death, which can be quite poetic since the Deathscythe, well, his main weapon is a beam scythe, basically the Green Reaper of the bunch. Halfway through the series, Duo was captured and his Gundam was confiscated. Now, during this time, Oz actually wanted to destroy the mobile suit, in which they did. The Deathscythe was destroyed, and thanks to the 5 engineers afterwards, they decided to rebuild the Deathscythe into the Deathscythe Hell. The Deathscythe Hell was more adapted for space combat, and just like its predecessor, it specialized in stealth and close combat. The new active cloak was used to improve the suit's defense when closed, and capable of withstanding multiple beam cannons shot from opposing mobile suits. Another upgrade was actually its main weapon, which unfortunately it's associated with the TV series, not much of the Endless Waltz version. So the weapon was actually upgraded to a second beam scythe blade and a small rocket engine at the end of the staff. The second blade gives the weapon a greater reach, while the rocket engine increases the power of the swing, allowing the Deathscythe Hell to cut through multiple enemy units with ease. Another difference between the TV series and the Endless Waltz version, the cloak was actually attached more so on his shoulders in the TV series, whereas on the Endless Waltz version it was actually attached to the back. And the way how it closes is a little bit different as well. It closes on the shoulders, TV series, it closes on the sides for the Endless Waltz, which I will show you all momentarily. But yeah, that was basically the big differences between the TV and the Endless Waltz version. I do prefer the dual or twin scythe compared to a single, but I cannot deny the fact that this version is more bat-like, more Grim Reaper-like than it was in the TV series, so to me, I will allow it. But enough of the history, let's go on with the box. So you can see here, has the Deathscythe, just having that beam scythe ready in hand, just getting ready for close combat with his enemies. But one thing I do like about this is that if you look in the back here, right in front of the moon, you see all these bats surrounding the Deathscythe. And to me, personally, some people who have reviewed this kit have said that this is the Batman, so to speak, of Gundams. So I find that very poetic, and personally, Batman is actually one of my favorite comic book heroes. So I definitely do like that similarity. So we go to the side here. You can see just the way how the cloak is on the back, definitely a bat wing shape. And also it shows you how to properly close it so it can surround the Deathscythe properly. and some mobility with the knee bend, the wrists. And I'll show you more, and of course the cockpit opens so you can see a tiny version of Duo Maxwell. Side there. And for this kit is 4,500 yen, or roughly around 45 USD. And also shows here other parts. So if you can see here, this is actually what the Deathscythe custom look like, or the Deathscythe Endless Waltz version. This is what it will look like originally, and this is the custom or Hell version. So yes, big differences is the colors. Still has the pointy feet, which I have not seen any other mobile suit have that. So definitely this does stick out. For the Deathscythe, I do find this just a little bit silly. I'm sorry, but they look like elf shoes. They look like elf shoes, and around this time, this is again quite poetic since next month is December. But aside from that, you can see the other kits or other mobile suits. You have the Wing Zero, Heavy Arms, Sandwalk, and the Atron or Nataku, which is the name that Wufei Chen gave to the mobile suit. So here is all the Endless Waltz versions of the mobile suits. But yeah, so there we go. There's the box. And inside the box, of course, is the manual. And it gives you a good idea. And of course, here is the differences for the TV version and the Endless Waltz version. So the TV version, to me, just looks a little bit more bulky. The shoulders are a little bit bigger. The legs are a little bit thicker. And of course, as I mentioned, that the cloak on the TV version is more on the shoulders, whereas this is more on the sides. And the one big difference between the Endless Waltz version and the TV version is that the TV version came with a shield, and only the first version, the regular Deathscythe Endless Waltz version, came with the shield, whereas the Deathscythe Hell does not. But it doesn't really need the shield since the cloak can be its own shield. So that's been removed from that. And of course, some background of Duo Maxwell, and a little bit of difference aside from his clothes, but also the color of his hair. I believe the TV version is just a little bit darker than the Endless Waltz version. And of course all the runners, and I would say this is actually a pretty good amount, I must admit, but this is a mass grade, so I do enjoy that. And same thing just like the other kits that I reviewed. It starts with the torso, the head, the arms, then the legs. And here you have more background, Gundam Deathscythe Hell, Operation Meteor, some action poses along with how the cloak is closed. So very good. Continue on the legs, the waist, the cloak, the beam scissors, as they call it, but I prefer the beam scythe. This is the scythe, it's not scissors, but I just find that kind of weird, but that would be my definition of it. That's how I'm going to call it from now on. And here we go, and of course it comes with a attachment for an action base. And here it gives you the locations where you can put the seals on. And of course shows you the color palette that you can use if you want to just paint this the way how you want it, along with the figurine that comes with the kit as well, and of course panel lining. That's it with the instructions. And if you, sorry about this, but I keep all this in the bag so it won't move around the box. But so here are the seals, and here are the roller decals. Like I mentioned before in previous videos, these are just just soak them in water and you can place them properly on the mobile suit, on the kit, similar to how you put decals on the car. That's about it. So enough of the decals and the box, and along with the instructions, let's get on with the kit. And here we have the God of Death himself, the Master Grade Deathscythe Herald Custom Endless Waltz. And I adore this kit. Then again, like I mentioned before, the Deathscythe was actually one of my favorite mobile suits that I've seen. This is actually, to me, my favorite compared to the Ring Zero. I just like the aesthetic of it. I like the Batman theme. I really like the way how it looks. This mobile suit in the Gundam Wing series to me stood out the most. I just really like the way how it's designed. And this alone, just continuing with this, I guess, Deathscythe motif, it's just all dark colors with the exception of the red and the white and of course the yellow. But the black, I would not say gray, but kind of like a off gray, so to speak. But then it definitely works well. I mean, all these colors do work well together. The white and the red and the yellow, like I said, is a good contrast with all the other dark colors. But this is definitely, as I mentioned before, this mobile suit was mostly used for stealth. So definitely it should be in the shadows, just lurking and just waiting for the moment to strike. So naturally you need to have those colors so it can blend in properly. The one thing that I do like about the black on this kit is that this black actually has a nice good gloss to it. I wouldn't say it's a full gloss, I would say at most it's semi-gloss. Has a nice shine to it, so Bandai did make a good choice on the color palette for this kit. And aside from the colors, you see this wingspan, you see this cloak. It has that bat-like wingspan. It's absolutely astonishing. I really like the way how this folds out. Definitely one thing I truly like about this kit. Now let me show you the articulation. For starters, we do a nice little head rotation. It can go all the way. Go. And it can move forward and back like so. I'm going to be careful because this, as much as I like the cloak, it does get in the way a little bit, so I'm going to just be very careful. The arms can go forward like so at some nice shoulder points. And the arms can actually go all the way, but again, because of the cloak, it can get in the way. And these pieces do move as around up and down like so. It has nice elbow joints as well, but because of this part on his forearm, it cannot do a full bend, but it probably doesn't need to. The wrist, and because of this forearm piece, it does get in the way, but let's see. Full 360-degree bend. The thumb can move, and just like the other kits before it, this actually do have different manipulators you can change out. So here is one open hand. Well, this is a full open hand, I'm sorry. This is obviously a semi-closed hand. And of course for closed fists. And these are semi-open hands as well, but they have a little peg in them, so these can be placed inside the beam scythe properly, which I'll show you in a few moments. But back to the articulation. So I'm show the arms, the waist can go around like so, and the front skirts can go up, and well, try not to remove these, and the side skirts can go up as well, and this also came off. So just be careful. I'm just going to leave that to the side, but you get the idea. And if you move the side skirts up, you can actually have a nice leg bend. Go all the way, nice knee bend as well. And this kit Can it do the splits? Well, without these side skirts, it definitely can. I'll say that much. This part of the knee just moves just slightly. Actually, they move a little bit. One of the joints a little bit stiff. Anyway, the foot can go side to side, can go all around. And the toe can actually move. This point can actually move as well. Just a little bit. This can go back and go forward. And pieces are just falling off. And inside here is a cockpit. Let me see if I can, there we go. So you can see do a Maxwell in there. One thing I forgot to show you, the waist can go forward and back, like so. Now as for the cloak, these pieces do fold out, like so, and that's due to the cloak closing. I'll show you that in a few seconds. But the cloak can actually go up and down just a little bit. And one thing I like about this is that these points here can actually, if you just dislocate just slightly, can actually have it at an angle, like so. And there's actually another point right here. I think this goes a little bit, I think this extends more. There we go. And the same thing to the other side. Yep. You can extend these the cloak out or the wings out, so you have more points of articulation, like so. And to close the cloak, make sure the shoulders are all the way secured on the torso. You close these two out. Then you move this forward. Close these. And when you do, you can actually extend these pieces out for the side. And they are these points, if you can see here. They're basically just hooks. So once you get them, you can just slide these two up. There we go. Now let me see. Oh, there we go. And something like this. And aside from that, this kit also comes with a tiny little dual Maxwell figurine. And of course, last but not least, the beam scythe. And I repeat, it's a beam scythe, and in directions it's beam scissors, but as you can tell, this does not cut, it slices. But it's very, I'll say, good size for it. I feel like it's just a little bit big, but I think it works for this kit. Definitely does work. As stated before, I prefer the twin scythe for the Deathscythe Hell TV series. Basically just these two scythes, just one's on top, one's on the bottom. And obviously they're actually a little bit thinner than this one. But again, this is a proper scythe. And as I mentioned before, the hand manipulator that it has now has certain pegs that go inside these slots. So that's how you probably place them. And that's what comes with the Deathscythe Hell figurine. Now for some side-by-side comparisons. Here's this Deathscythe Hell with the real grade Sazabi. As you can see here, but because the real grade Sazabi is actually one of the bigger real grades in my personal opinion, and the Sazabi in retrospect is definitely a lot bigger by a scale. But in terms of kit-wise, I would say they're pretty similar. I would say the Sazabi is just a little bit taller just because of his middle fin here. But the Deathscythe Hell definitely is much more wide. And here is he with the fourth Gundam of the group, the Sandrock. Gundam Heavy Arms. And I would say, actually, in this case, I would say the Deathscythe Hell is a little bit taller than the Heavy Arms. And last but not least, here's he with the Wing Gundam Proto Zero, or Wing Zero for short. All right. And that's it for side-by-side comparisons. And with a proper action base, you can create poses just such as this. And I will say this is probably the furthest I ever had my camera actually doing this. Yeah, having the scythe up there really is saying something. Quite menacing. If any mobile suit were to see this in the sky, then they're not going to last too long. But it definitely gives you a very good idea of the kind of display that you can actually have this kit. This definitely is that. To me, if anyone has ever played Arkham Knight, there is one scene, I'm going to try not to spoil too much. If you have not played it, I suggest you do. But there is one certain scene where you just see a bat in the sky. So this definitely, to me, it definitely portrays that. This is definitely a very good Batman-esque Gundam, I would say. Definitely comes close to it. But definitely fits the moniker of the Deathscythe, or as Duo nicknamed himself along with Professor G, the God of Death. This mobile suit definitely defines that. And with this, I will say my final thoughts, the pros, the cons, and everything else in between. For starters, the pros, I just like the style of this. This has a really nice look. Definitely will add that because this character is actually quite old. This was back made in 2011, so in a span of 10 years, this kit still holds true. I highly do recommend getting this kit just because of this motif that it brings, this nostalgia feel, really. It has that, if anyone has ever grew up watching Gundam Wing, this definitely will bring back memories. Not just by the aesthetic, but the colors. So like I mentioned before, that jet black, semi-gloss color to it definitely makes it stand out. You see that shine just from the light glaring at it. Definitely make it stand out. But aside from the black, of course, the other colors makes a good contrast comparison as well. The white works well, the red, even the yellow for its head crest. Even that off grayish color for the legs, the waist, and even the upper arms. Everything just works well with it. For posability too, another plus is that this actually does work well, especially the fact that there are many points on the side that you can put both hands in, so you can have a similar pose just as what I'm doing right now. So I definitely do like that. As I mentioned, the test of time, this kit still holds true. However, for a con, some pieces do fall off. Yes, there's a model kit, but as you saw while I was doing some posability, some of the waistskirt pieces do has came off, and it did come off again while I was posing this. So that is a downside, but at the same time, as I mentioned, it is a model kit. It tends to happen. So unless you want to put some glue on it, so it can hold, so everything can hold in place, that's fine as well. But actually, that's the only gripe I have with this kit. I don't have many bad things about this, and that is a big plus. Just the fact that color pieces fall off doesn't really mean it's not a bad kit. This is actually a great kit. And as I said before, and I'll say again, this is definitely a kit to add to your collection. Not just for nostalgia feels, not just if you're a fan of Gundam Wing or even the Endless Waltz movie, but the fact that this is still a solid kit. I feel like it still holds true even for the current kits that are out. Definitely it would be a great display, whether it be on the shelf or even inside a display case. And of course, that's just my personal opinion. You all decide what you like to do, and hopefully you take my opinion to heart. Thank you all for watching. I do apologize for the wait in between videos. I just have other things going on at the moment, but that aside, I am thankful that I finally got this review out of the way. But not just that it was on a shelf just waiting to be reviewed. I'm just very happy I finally did it. This is the kit I've been waiting for a while to review, and I'm very glad I'm satisfied the way how it turned out. So again, thank you for watching. If you haven't done so, please like, share, subscribe. Visit my channel. If you like this kit, you definitely like the other videos I have as well. There'll be 2 here for you to watch. One recent and one that YouTube decide to see if you will like it as well. YouTube picked it out. So if you understand this line, you know there's only just this line is going to be coming to an end shortly. So just a couple more kits, and this would be it for the time being. And something brand new to come, but that would never be spoilers. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm sure you all like it. So until next time, keep on building.